So already has been talked a lot about you quitting cricket and just moving to Ibiza and all of it. So can we just talk about it once more?
Yeah, it's actually a real circle because my coach at the time, Richard Bedbrook, he's now the selector. Well, I believe he's the selector for this tour, and he's high up in the ECB now. Which when I was going to leave, he was the head coach at Surrey Stars at the time. I just felt like I wasn't really in it. I wasn't. I was just playing cricket for the sake of playing cricket. It wasn't something that I wanted to do anymore. And I always tell myself if I wake up and I don't want to do cricket, then I think that's you should listen to that. And at that time in my life, I wasn't really getting anywhere. Cricket wasn't the priority for me, and it wasn't a career, which was massive. I didn't see myself making money from cricket, and at the end of the day, I needed to make money. So, and as a night job, I worked in a bar, and I loved it. Like I loved the. Now I don't. I hate the thought of it now, but when I was 19, it was ideal. I loved it. So I was going to do a season in Ibiza. Told one of my closest friends that I was going to go, and she was like, "Look, you go if that's what you want to do." I didn't tell my mum. I don't even know if my mum knows. She might have known now because she's read some of the articles, but I don't think she would have taken it very well if I said, "Look, Mum, I'm going to quit cricket and go to Ibiza." But so I was in the regional development for Surrey Stars, which was part of the Kia Super League at the time, so before the 100, and was gonna, like I said, just leave. And Richard Bedbrook came up to me. I'd missed a couple of training sessions previously, so I thought he's gonna boot me off here. I might as well go now. So he asked me to come in for a meeting after training and asked me if I wanted to be a part of the Kia Super League and play for the Surrey Stars. And I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought he was joking because I was walking in there thinking that he was going to make me pack my bags and go home and never come back. And then I got in the car, and it was Mother's Day actually. Got in the car and told my mum, and she just bursted because she had to drive me at the time. She was driving me to training because I was obviously a lot younger. She started crying, and I thought this was not how I thought the day was going to go when I was on the way to training. But yeah, never looked back since, and I'm quite glad I didn't go because the thought of going to Ibiza now is probably last on my list.
That's some story to have, like the start of your professional career.
Yeah, yeah, it
But
was. It was. That's the first time I ever made money playing cricket, and I saw that you can make a career out of it, which was the best outcome, I suppose.
and like drama has always followed you. Talking about the Ashes 2019, your debut, you dropped Elisa Healy's catch,
Hmm.
and then a few overs
Yeah.
later, you took her wicket. 2 for 20 in that game.
Hmm.
Just take us through that match.
Yeah, that was. Sorry, that was a bit of a bizarre day, to be honest. I didn't think I'd play in the Ashes. I just thought I'd be a part of the team. My first call up, just be around the environment. And the day before, Heather told me that I was playing, and I couldn't believe it. I spoke to my mum and my family, and they all came down to Bristol. And it was a really special day because we obviously won. It was bittersweet in a sense because it was technically a dead rubber, but still didn't want to lose all of the games. Wanted to take something out of the Ashes, and I think we did that in the last game. Everyone really turned it on for that game, which was nice. And personally, after the game, we had my family in the changing room after, and Nat Sniver she presented me my cap after the game. You get a cap in the changing room, and she was my captain at the Surrey Stars, so it was almost like she was there when I first become a professional cricketer, and then now she's presenting me with my first England cap after the game, and my family in there, my niece and nephew. It was just a really, really special day. Yeah, that meant a lot that day.
And talking about your debuts, the T20 World Cup debut then, and that catch in that match.
Hmm.
How did you react yourself after taking that catch?
I just think those ones, they either stick or they don't, to be honest. I think, like I said, I dropped a sitter, like the one that Healy hit back at me was simple, and I would back myself to take that 9.5 out of 10 times. And the other one was a lot harder. So I do think it is a bit of luck and just instinct and just training it. At that time, especially, I remember doing so many return catches with the spin bowling coach, Gareth Breeze. We'd bowl a ball and he'd hit one straight back at us, and we'd have to take the catch, and we'd just do that over and over and over again. So it was something that we practiced a lot. I probably have neglected it recently, to be honest, but yeah, I trust myself in the field, and it is something that I pride myself on. So yeah, that was a good catch. And actually, when I went back to the UK, one of our fans at our region, she drew me a picture, and at the time I'd forgot about it. Like, it was just another wicket. It was obviously an incredible wicket, like a good catch, but she'd drawn this massive photo of me taking the catch, and like wrote a little bit about what that meant to her. And that was a really nice moment, because it just reminds you, like, the days that you play, they have a massive impact on young girls and boys around the world, that you forget about that when you're in the moment.
So, and how was the inaugural T20 World Cup experience for you?
Yeah, it was incredible, to be honest. I just think the group at the time were really, well, I haven't been in the recent environments, but at the time, just really committed to performing and really working for each other, which I loved being a part of. I loved that environment. I loved the group. Being in a different country, I love traveling, and you just sometimes, especially when you're touring, you forget that I would never go to that side of the world. I wouldn't even be in India today if I didn't play cricket. So I think experiencing that, even like small things, it's not a small thing, but like singing the national anthem, still to this day, it's an emotional thing to do, and it's a really proud thing of mine to say that I have represented my country in a World Cup. Yeah, it was an incredible experience.
And like you mentioned, the environment in the group was so good. So, forming that spin try with Sophie Ecclestone and Sarah Glenn, how was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's brilliant. We're all three different different types of bowlers, and we offered three different options, and we all got on so well, which is nice. We were all similar age, and yeah, we just got on really well, which does help on the pitch when you know the person, you can have a better relationship with them and do stuff outside of cricket. Yeah, that was nice.
And now bowling with a fellow Offie, Charlie Dean.
Yeah, she's incredible. She is actually such a skillful bowler, and she's got an incredible sense of humour as well, which goes a long way. Yeah, it's nice to have some experience as well. And even when we go back and play with our regions, it's often we take a lot of the responsibility back there, whereas in this environment it's shared, and everybody is on a similar level, have similar experiences, especially the spinners like me, Kirsty, Charlie Dean. We all have played international cricket, so it's nice to be able to bounce off each other, and I think we do that really well, and we communicate well to each other, which helps my game and helps their game as well, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about the region cricket and the domestic cricket of England. So let's move on to the 100. How was it being a part of the Oval Invincibles and the twin trophies?
That's, yeah, to win it back to back, I think that's really impressive. I think the environment and the culture that we created at the time was very relaxed, which was completely different to what I've been through in the environment, and the facilities at the Oval are the best in the world, I believe, and to be able to play there on a regular basis is we're very fortunate, and I do think that shone through in the first 2 years, and we kept a similar team as well for the first year and the second year, which set us in good stead because we knew everyone, we knew how we played, and we worked well together, which was nice. And we did a lot of stuff outside of cricket, which when we were able to in the second year, because obviously the first year was COVID. The 100 is an incredible competition.
How was it? The group of Oval Invincibles.
Yeah, it's a lovely group. It's very slick. There's a few girls from Surrey. I'm obviously from Essex. You obviously have your overseas, and to work with Cappy and Danae and Batesy, it's an experience that, especially the younger girls, they probably would never get without exposure from a competition like the 100. Even to just be around them, work with them, like some of our young seamers, obviously not last year because Shabs had left, but a few years ago, working with Shabs and Ismail, the feedback that those girls would say working with her is priceless for those girls, because being around a female in the same environment as you and has been through similar experiences, you can relate to them a lot more. So working with those players was incredible.
And you also mentioned how important the 100 competition is. And so is the RHF Trophy, the CE Cup, and the domestic structure of England. So you also mentioned the start of the interview that you were not as well earning anything from cricket, so just let it be at that point. But now with professional contracts, the domestic structure, how good is it?
It's amazing. Like, we have girls that at our region that are having the option now not to go to university. They can leave school. They don't have to go through education if that's not what they want to do. But yet also the regions can support them through education. We have a few girls still at uni, and the flexibility that, I'm only speaking on behalf of Sunrisers, I don't know what other regions are like, but allowing them to do their studies and come back into training as and when suits them just gives girls, it takes a lot of stress off them, knowing they have an income, yet they can also work on something that they want to do when they leave cricket, which a few years ago wasn't necessarily thought about. So for example, when somebody's just left the game and they haven't had the option to go through both, then having to think about what they want to do post-career, whereas the young girls coming through now can have the option still to do it alongside their studies, but yet also having support from the PCA. If they want to do a course or they want to become a coach, they have this access, because you are a professional cricketer now, to the outside access that we get that you wouldn't necessarily get if you weren't a full-time professional cricketer, which is great to see.
Absolutely. And with the different countries, the different boards introducing equal pay, and the domestic structures changing everywhere, the scenario is certainly changing for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And it's only getting better as well, which we're seeing all countries matching match fees and increasing pay. It's only getting better as well, which is also great to see.
Absolutely. But now coming back to the England side and everything, so you didn't do much wrong. But then again, losing your place in the side, losing your spot in the squad, it does take a toll on you. So how have you handled it, and what are the challenges to win that spot back?
There's a lot of challenges to get back in that side now. I think they're a very strong side. The Sri Lanka series didn't go to plan, but the steps they're putting in place to get that side where it's an exciting brand of cricket, ruthless brand of cricket as well. It's going to be hard to get in that side. When I lost my contract, to be honest, I saw it coming. It wasn't out of the blue for me anyway. I felt that the way that they were going with the side, I wasn't in their starting 11, even at the 15. So it didn't come out of the blue for me. But being able to go back to my region and having the support from the region to give me what I needed. If I needed some time off, they'd say, look, if you don't want to come back in just yet, because you're obviously going through all of, I didn't need the time, but the flexibility that they gave me was, I really appreciated that, because any other employer that you say, for example, you lose a job and you go into a new employer, which is technically what happened to me, you would just be expected to go straight back into work, no problems, just seamlessly go back into work. But like I said, it wasn't out of the blue for me, so I did give myself some time to prepare for the phone call. I prepared for the worst, and if I didn't lose my contract, great, but when I did, I was prepared for the conversation. It's obviously not a nice conversation to hear, and I was upset because I love playing for England and something I'm very proud of, but I felt like it was inevitable.